great. And thank you for joining here. Can you guys hear me? Anyone please confirm? I'm so sorry, my background would be a bit, with bass and all that stuff. But can you guys hear me? If you guys can confirm, please. Perfect. All right, Divya. Most of you might know me, but here is the team of UNBC. I'll quickly introduce you guys to them. So we have Takshita here from MSM. We have Richard here from UNBC. He's our international recruitment manager. And we have Mehak here. I'm sure you might know Mehak as well. She is into admissions part. And Richard, Takshita, and Mehak, these are the team of Aspire Square. And one of our prospective agent partners, and that's the reason we have invited them to Premium E-Summit. And yes, over to you, Richard, and they're all waiting for you.
Thank you for the warm introduction, Jay. To the team of Aspire, you guys must be very important because you guys are dragging me out at 9:30 to do a presentation for you. So you guys must have a lot of pull with Jay and Dashita. So I hope you guys get a lot out of this presentation. I am presenting from Prince George, British Columbia. So without further ado, we're going to start the presentation. Now, if you have any questions throughout the presentation, you can put it in the chat or you can put it in the Q&A. Or if you want to raise your hand and just ask the question right away, we have a small group, so I don't mind. I can answer the questions. And if there's nothing else, we can always wait till the end. Now, this is going to be a little bit longer of a presentation because I'm giving you a comprehensive one. But let's start. So the updates we want to talk to you guys about is the webinar takeaway, the unique selling proposition of UNBC, the programs, and the cost of attending UNBC. So these are the takeaways I want you to have at the end of the presentation. And if you don't, then I didn't do a good job. And maybe you should just write an email to the provost letting them know how bad I am. So I hope it's not that. But if it is, let me know. I will improve, okay? So this is UNBC. There's currently about 96 universities and colleges in Canada. We're talking about the public institution, not the privates. There's about 16 in British Columbia, and there's only one in Northern British Columbia. Can everybody hear me properly before I continue? Yes? Okay. So the main campus of UNBC is in Prince George, British Columbia, and we do have 5 branch campuses: Quesnel, Fort St. John, Gitchwa, Charis, and Prince Rupert. We are on the unceded territory of the Claytonay, which has allowed us to build the university on their land. So we are very grateful for that. UNBC is located in Prince George, which is about 1 hour flight away from Vancouver. And if you do want to drive, it's roughly about 8 to 10 hours. The reason why it is a longer drive, it is because you have to drive through the Rocky Mountains. So as you can see in this picture, we are surrounded by the beautiful Rocky Mountains, and the university sits on top of a hill overlooking it all. If you take a look at the picture at the very bottom, you'll see the dormitory and the residence that's on campus. On the very far right of this image, you'll see the Northern Sports Center as well. So it is walking distance, and that circle thing that you see right here, that's actually where the bus comes in. So we do have a bus loop that's available right on campus. So students are able to do that, okay? So moving forward, we'll talk about the climate in Prince George. Winter is about average -8, spring 16. Summer has been lovely up here, except for the couple of heat dome that we had. Right now, it is a cool 16 degrees and it's lovely. And fall, it's a +8, which is my favorite time of the year. So Prince George is known as a 4-season city, which means that you can do summer activities, spring activities, fall and winter activities. Now, the picture on the very right here is a person that's about to go ice fishing and is going to dig a hole in the ice so they can put their fish down, or they put their rods and lines in there. In the summertime, you can go canoeing in Mount Robson, which is a pristine blue lake, and the water is still freezing cold in the summertime because it's glacier fed. And if you want, you can go hike in the ancient forest, one of the few and the only rainforest in British Columbia. that's in the inland rainforest. So this is very unique to Prince George and to the northern BC area. And if you just like to go camping, you can always camp out 20 minutes away from the city. Now, one thing unique about Prince George is there's 299 days of sunshine, which is very different from Toronto and Vancouver, because I grew up in Vancouver. I know how miserable I can get in the wintertime, and having the sunshine up in Prince George really helps wake me up. We are called a 20-minute city. Reason being is because you can get from the international airport to the main campus within 20 minutes, from here to here. So, and you can basically drive around the city if you want within 20 minutes. And we don't have much traffic. If students want to take the bus, they can. It is part of their student fee. Right behind our campus is called the Forest of the World, which is one of our parks that we have. And it's also a location where a lot of our professors will take our students for hands-on learning experience and also to show them live specimens. This is UNBC, and this is my favorite time of the year, and it's gonna be like this in probably a month or so, where the leaves start changing color and it turns to orange. On the very left here, and as I was describing, Forest of the World, which is right behind our campus. And as far as your eyes can see on the back picture here, that is all university land. So we do have a lot of space to grow. And we also have the ability to make sure that students take advantage of this, and professors do research in this land as well. So right here in the very middle, this building here is called the Bioenergy Building. What it does is it uses wood waste to produce heat for the entire campus. So in the wintertime, we have logging companies and milling companies that come drop off their wood waste, and we use that to heat up the entire campus, including the dormitory as well. So that's something unique about UNBC, is that we try to be carbon neutral as much as possible. So we are in northern British Columbia, so we do expect snow, but the benefit of UNBC is that all our buildings are interconnected, meaning that once you enter the building or enter the campus, you can take off the jacket, take off your boots, and then you can walk around between classes within the buildings, and you never have to step foot outside if you don't want to, okay? So we are also award-winning. We've been top 3 in the last 12 years. And recently, we dropped it to the top 4, but we're also top 50 research university in Canada. Times Higher Education has ranked us top 5% worldwide. We are top 250 young university worldwide, and only 1 of 3 universities from Canada, according to Times Higher. We are an elite young university and the only university in British Columbia that's opened by Queen Elizabeth herself. So we're very proud of that, and we uphold the research intensive university mantra. We have students from over 60 different countries that come from all around the world to the UNBC. Now, the next slides, I'm going to talk to you about the differentiation between the universities in British Columbia. So in British Columbia, there is roughly about 5 types of institutions and universities. We have the medical, we have the research intensive, hybrid, meaning that they're mostly teaching and research. And then we have the teaching university and the vocational colleges that offers degrees as well. So in the medical field, or the medical category, we have University of British Columbia. For the research intensive, that's authorized under the University Acts of British Columbia, we have University of British Columbia, Simon Fraser University, University of Victoria, and then there's UNBC. We are the youngest and the smallest of the 4 original research university. What does this mean? That we offer PhD and we have master's program, but they're mostly research based. And then there's the hybrids. So they have master's program, but mostly course based, but they're undergraduate focused. So these institutions are Thompson River, Railroad University. Then we have the teaching university that offers some masters, but usually they do not. They're also undergraduate focused, such as Capilano University, Vancouver Island University, and University of Fraser Valley. And then we have the colleges and the vocational type universities, such as British Columbia Institute of Technology, my alma mater, Langara, Kwantlen Polytechnic, and Douglas College. So as you can see, UNBC is a research intensive university, meaning that if the students come to UNBC and after 2 years, they decide to go to UVic or SFU, they can easily transfer their program versus if they went to Douglas or Angara and they try to transfer up to UNBC, not all their courses will be transferable. Okay, so that is the difference between the level of institution and the quality of education that we have. And because we are ranked as research intensive, which means that we have a higher standard. Okay, so as a research intensive university, we also have research chairs that have been appointed by the federal government and the provincial government to be specialists in their own field. So currently right now we have about 15. We're hoping to get 20 with our new recent hires of faculties and deans and chairs. We are expecting to get that number within this year. So we do have a lot of specialized knowledge in our professors. And this translates to a very unique faculty to student ratio of 1:8. We have roughly about 3,500 students, just undergraduate looking. If you include graduates, about 4,200. But looking at the ratio itself, if you include staff and faculty, it's 1:4. So we have a very close-knit university students, and the location matters because we are very close to our international population. Okay. Not sure if you guys have students who went to big institutions such as UBC or such as University of Toronto, but usually first year class sizes, you're looking at about 200 to 500 students. At UNBC, we have roughly about 62 students, and that's our average. Our biggest class would be our psychology class for first year, especially in health science. We're looking at 84 students, which is in one of our biggest lecture theater. And with COVID right now, we are restricting that number to a lower number, but that is a fluid situation at this point. So we don't know what the exact number will be when the student starts in September. Okay. We're also called Canada's Green University because what we specialize in is environmental programs. So environmental science, environmental engineer, anything environmental related, forestry, and glaciology, for example. These are all the things that we look after. Climate change is also a big one that we have in our faculty. So we are known as Canada's Green University because we specialize in that. Okay, that is our niche. With that, we also do research in wood innovation because wood is a renewable energy source and renewable building material, meaning that you can grow it and it also traps carbon better than concrete. So what we're doing is researching using timber to build tall wood structure, meaning that the wood structures that they build can be 95% built out of wood, and they can last as long or even longer than some concrete buildings. And what we do in this Wood Innovation Research Lab is test the tensile strength, the earthquake proof, the fire retardants, and all these sorts of unique stuff that we research for tall wood building. If you look at what buildings are going to be like in the future, a lot of them are going to be built out of renewable energy. This building itself, our Wood Innovation Research Lab, is also something called Passive House Warehouse. Passive House is a higher standard than LEED Gold or LEED Platinum because it is a really energy efficient type building. During our heat wave that we had about a month ago, that building maintained and stayed cool at 20 degrees, even though outside is 35 degrees or higher, because we utilize minimum energy and trapping that energy and the coldness of the air inside. So we don't have to use a lot of electricity or gas to keep that temperature up. So that's something unique about that. If you want to read more about that, you can always visit our Master of Engineering website that showcased the Wood Innovation Research Lab. As I was telling you guys before, our Battery Energy Center uses wood waste or wood residue to reduce our fossil fuel consumption by almost 85%. Now, that means that we take off roughly about 200 cars off the road every year. On top of that, we also have plugins available for EV cars. So a lot of our faculty are slowly starting to switch to EVs. So we have plugins available for them as well. We also have athletic team, so basketball, soccer, male and female. So if any of your students are in the India under 19 soccer league or basketball league, and you feel that they may have a shot to join our collegiate and athletic team, please send me a video or talk to Jay, talk to Dashita. We will be more than happy to take a look at the video. I'll send it to our coach. If our coach feels like this is a great student and they have potential, they may even fly them down or fly to where they are to check them out. And all our athletes, international athletes, receive full ride scholarship, meaning that they get their tuition paid for and they also get partially funded for the room and board if they decide to stay on campus. Okay, so more images about our soccer and basketball team. So where do they practice in the wintertime? They practice in something called the Northern Sports Center. The Northern Sports Center has 2 indoor sports court, 50 hours of workout drop-in kind of fitness classes, 2 indoor FIFA approved soccer field, 3 big gymnasium, and a unique 283-lane indoor running track. In addition, there's 6 different types of cardio and strength training room. During COVID, that has actually expanded to 8 because we took over a few of the yoga rooms due to the stoppage in the drop-in fitness class. So with that, we now have 8 different types of cardio and strength training zone. These are some images of where we are. As I said, we do have an indoor FIFA approved soccer field. So that's something the students can utilize as part of their student fees, and it's all part of their student union fees. If the student doesn't want to work out, they can join our student-led organization, which we strongly encourage students to do, because this allows them and gives them a lot more soft skills, such as teamworking, organizing with like-minded people, and fundraising and whatnot. So these are all the skills that they can learn outside of their academics. So we do encourage this. My favorite club, as Dashita and Mehak know, is the Nerdy Gaming Club, because as part of the Stress Buster, what they do is they host, for example, a Mario Kart competition or a Street Fighter competition. And I participate in it. I get my butt kicked all the time by younger people, but at least I hold my own. Okay. So there's also different types of clubs we have. We have the composting club, organic greens, the coffee club, and we have the medieval club and also the jack.org club. If they don't want to join a club, they can look at our study abroad options, which is also available to international students in the 15 different countries. They can go to places like Death Valley, they can go to Antarctica, they can do research with their European counterpart if they wish to. Or if they want, they can go to places like Peru, Argentina to do ecological digs to understand what it's like to live in those type of earths. We are a big enough university to offer groundbreaking research, but yet small enough where students can get involved in the first year. I'll talk more about this in a bit, just to explain to you the benefit of being in a small research university. So in terms of our research funding, we do give away $14 million of funding every year. Last year, because of COVID, that funding dropped down to 10 because a lot of our researchers did not request for funding to go abroad. But once things get back to normal, we have additional surplus and funds available. So in 2022-2023 year, we do have upwards of $25 million of funding available for a lot of our researchers who want to go on unique trips, things that they have postponed, such as our Antarctica visit from our Dr. Monus, who is our glacier experts, studying the glaciology in British Columbia and Alaska as well. So as I explained earlier, we do have student housing or dormitory or residence on campus, and it is a short walk away from our university, which is about 5 minutes or so. And they are put into as apartment style. So students will get their own individual bedroom, and they share a bathroom, kitchen, and living room. Now, the benefit of this is that we do have personality and questionnaire for our students who are in dormitory together. We make sure we put like-minded people together. So an early riser won't go together with a late sleeper. So their personality don't clash, or, sometimes they like to play music a little bit too loud. We want to make sure to avoid that. Okay. So we also do have a lot of connection to nature. career support co-op. We have a career center as well and employment network opportunity. Now, why are we showcasing this student? Now, this is a Brazilian student that came to us from Brazil. Now, I only discovered her in the third year. She actually got admitted to Queens, U of T, UBC, and then UNBC. Now, she got scholarship to all four universities, including UNBC. However, the scholarship that she got for the other three universities are only for the first 2 years. Now, money was not a big issue for her because her parents were able to afford 4-year tuition in any of those institutions. However, she chose UNBC because she had access to undergraduate research in first year. So by the time she graduated UNBC, she had 4 journal articles to her name, meaning that when she applied for graduate programs, she can point out to cited article with her name on it because she was part of that research project and she was part of that professor's publication in those article journal. As a graduate student myself, getting a publication is very difficult. Getting 4 in your undergraduate is unheard of in my experience. So she was able to do that. And when it came to her deciding where she wanted to go to continue her research, she actually met her supervisor at a conference that UNBC sponsored as part of the research funding. And that supervisor basically took her on. So she went from an undergraduate program completing in biomedical studies to a PhD program at University of Toronto. So these are just a unique opportunity that UNBC have for students who want to pursue further education, who want to do more than just the undergraduate degree, who want to have a master's or PhD, because UNBC gives that experience to our students, okay? On top of that, we do have a safe campus with various different types of safe walk, 24-hour security. We have a lot of community support with our Prince George community as well. So these are just some unique things. But if you're looking for academic experience, UNBC for undergraduate program is one of the top programs, okay? Looking at the degrees, we have 62 bachelors, 29 masters, and 3 PhDs. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over the bachelor degree program at this point because a lot of our research masters are research-based, which is very difficult to get seats for. So let's take a look at the graduate or the general entry program that we have. Now, what do I mean by general entry? It means that if the student meets our GPA requirement and our English requirements, they are able to get in, okay? Now, these general entry program generally have 3 intakes. So you have September, January, and May. So we have 3 intakes for general entry programs. The unique programs that we have here are environmental and sustainability study, for example, nature-based tourism management. Our accounting program, finance program are very popular because the big 4 accounting firms will come up to recruit our students twice a year. And even during COVID time, they host 2 big webinars for our finance and accounting students. A unique program that is a combination of computer science and business is management information system, which is a very unique program. It talks about data analysts and how to utilize the technology to assess business, okay? Other general entry science is our Bachelor of Science and Bachelor of Planning. So under Bachelor of Science, you have computer science, you have the biochemistry and molecular biology. Unique programs are conservation science and practice. Wildlife conservation is very unique to UNBC. Landscape conservation and management is not your typical landscaping where you look at your front lawn and try to do landscaping, but it's actually landscaping for a national park, for example, or a ecological kind of land or wetland or whatnot. So it's a combination of understanding the nature and understanding the human impact of the wetlands, for example. Forest ecology is also very unique. And our planning program, the natural resource and northern and urban planning program, is something that's unique to UNBC. What this means is that after you complete our program and you have 1 year of experience, you can go and get your planning certificate, which means that you can be a planner. What does a planner do? A planner can work for a city or governments, where they approve a new patch of land for either development or either for mining or for expansion of current city space and whatnot. So they plan how that block or that plot of land will look like with development. So are we going to have high-rise buildings? Are we just going to have apartments? Where are we going to put the school? Where we're going to put the fire station? All these sorts of stuff are done by the planners. And then it goes to the architecture and the engineers. So the planners are way above in terms of looking at how the city will look like. If you ever go to some of the cities in North America, you'll notice that some of the cities, they call the old town, they all look the same. Well, the reason being is because the planner has allocated that place as a heritage site. So all the buildings have to look the same. So this is something that you'll see in older places like in England, where they have unique front houses, but inside is very modern. But the outside facade, they can't change at all because that is in law or in the bylaw of the city or policy, which is enacted by the planners. So these are some unique things that the planners will do. Talking about competitive programs, we have engineering, so civil engineering, environmental engineering, and we have a joint degree program with UBC. So the environmental engineering program is a 4.5-year program that's a joint degree. Our health science program is also competitive. Now, before I go ahead, I want to just explain what competitive program is about. Competitive program means that students would have to meet the GPA requirements, but we have to look at the other people that apply because we have limited seats. We give the seats to the highest GPAs, and then we go from there. So I'll give you an example of our civil and environmental engineering, which is the UNBC ones. The cutoff for this September intake was 83%. Meaning that students under 83% did not get in. For the joint degree one, this year is not as bad as previous year. It was 85%. In the previous years, since I've been here, one year the cutoff was 92% overall. So this is based on the BC high school scale, not the Indian scale. So just so you're aware, okay? These are the course requirements or prerequisite that's required for our engineering program. So they do need mathematics. They may need physics and chemistry as well. So this is something that we want to talk to you and make sure that you understand the prerequisites and requirements. What is our English requirements? 6.5, no less than 6. We do take CALE. We also take TOEFL at 90, no less than 20 in each of the module. We also take Duolingo at 105, and if students can't sit for the IELTS exam, they can do IELTS indicator, but if they're applying through SDS, then they should be doing the IELTS in person. So that's something that we want to encourage the students to do. We do have English language exception, but Dashita and Mehek and Jay will be able to tell you more about what they need. Students need to be from a 5-year consecutive English language medium. And being that it has to be the 10, they have to showcase letters from that 5 years plus 2. So your 11th and 12th, and also your 10, 9, 8 as well. So all 5 years, so they may need 2 letters, okay? Unless they're in from the same school and they can say that students have been with us since grade 1 and it's all English medium, okay? So that's something that we have to look into. Now, looking at the Indian curriculum, what do we look for competitive entry? Competitive entry, we're looking at 60, no less than 55. That's a minimum at least 60. They do require senior math, physics, and chemistry 11. And ideally, they're from the science stream. The general entry program, we look for at least 55 overall, no core less than 50. If they have higher, they're more competitive. They may apply or get scholarships as well, which they can apply for after they have been admitted to UNBC. So if they are coming from international curriculum such as IB or GCE, these are the courses and requirements that they do need for the engineering program. If you have any question, Mehak will be able to assist you with that. Let's talk about finance and scholarships. The cost of living in Prince George, if they want to stay on campus, is roughly about $5,000 per academic year, which is about 8 months. If they want to do the all-you-can-eat 7-day meal plan, it's also about $5,000. Now, if they want to live off campus, it's about $7,500, but it depends on how they want to live. If they want to live by themselves, or they want to have roommates, or if they want to share rooms. I do know some students don't mind sharing a room. They actually told me they feel more at home if they share a room with somebody. So I'm like, okay, to each his own. So looking at the undergraduate costs, based on 2 semesters and 30 credits, it's roughly about $22,000 to $25,000, depending on what program you're in. If you're engineering, then it's closer to $25,000. But if you want to add them all together plus residency, we're looking about $35,000 altogether. Okay. Now, comparing tuition of our domestic and international, as you can see, because we are a research-based university, our domestic tuition is roughly the same as all the other research-based university. So the minimum, which is in green, the maximum, which is in turquoise or blue, they're roughly the same. But if you look at the international tuition, UNBC is more affordable than the rest of the research university. Why? Because we're not in the big city, A, and B, we don't have as much demand as, say, UBC, and they can charge a lot more. Now, this chart needs to be updated because I know our UBC engineering program is closer to $60,000 now, which we inform our students if they're in a joint degree program. And the next slide will tell you the difference. So if they're in the joint degree program, the first 2 years, they pay $26,000 because they're at UNBC. The next 2 years, they have to go down to UBC. They pay anywhere from $48,000 to $60,000. Now, these numbers have changed because this is 2019 numbers now, and they have recently increased that number. So in total, if you were to do the same degree at UNBC, you save roughly about $55,000 to $60,000 a year. So that's the cost difference, and that's a uniqueness of UNBC versus UBC because we are more affordable and you still get the same quality of education. On top of that, we do give away about $3.5 million of scholarship every year, and 25% of our students will receive a financial award. Like I said before, the students can receive financial award. Once they have been admitted, they can apply to all types of financial awards. Our application fee is $125 for undergraduate, and graduates $153. This is just a range again. Undergraduate, $22,000 to $27,000 per academic year, depending on what program you're in. If you're in the general entry program, it's generally about $22,000 to $24,000, depending on how many courses you take. Deadlines for international, if they're applying for fall, we do have a soft deadline on March 1st, January, June 1st, May, January 15th. However, right now for the January semester, we are still taking in applications. So if you have any students that want to come for January, please ask them to apply right now. We never had a capacity issue for January. However, there is a big deferral from September to January. So a lot of our students have been deferral, meaning that the classes will be full and the students that apply later will not be able to get in. So this is the urgency. We want to tell all our agents, and we do tell Mehek and Jay all the time to remind the agents that they may have to make sure they apply as soon as possible so they can get a seat, okay? So for the Bachelor of Applied Science with our engineering program is generally March 1st. So if the students are interested in September 2022 for our Applied Science engineering program, they should apply somewhere between September and October with their first interim grades or their predicted score. So we do take that as well, okay? So we're gonna skip this one, and admission turnaround time is roughly about 5 to 10 business days. So we try to keep up to that. There has been some change with our admission team and also advising team. So that may be closer to 10 business days, but we tend to try and get a response within 24 to 48 hours. You will generally see a letter of offer or email offer stating that the students are admissible, and it prompts the student to pay the deposit. Okay. So the takeaway from this presentation and webinar is the uniqueness of UNBC. We are an award-winning small research university. We specialize in environmental programming, and we have affordable international tuition at a research class university. So that is the takeaway I hope that you guys receive from this. I know I speak very fast sometimes because I'm excited about my university. And I feel like all the students should come to UNBC and really experience what it's like to be in Canada versus being in Toronto and Vancouver, because that doesn't really represent Canada by itself. Okay. So that is the end of my presentation. I'm ready to take any questions if you guys have any questions. So far, you guys have been very quiet.
Thank you so much, Richard, for the elaborate presentation, just like always. I hope that Aspire Education team, you all have got a fair idea, or I can say a detailed idea on what UNBC is all about, what our programs are all about, including the tuition fees. If you would like to have uh, if you would like to have one-on-one communication with Richard, because that's why he's here, and he's here only for you guys. So we'll be happy to have a communication ahead. Please open your cameras, unmute yourself, and we are here to take up your questions.
Don't be shy, I don't bite.
They like, I believe that few of them did open their cameras in the start, but yes, you guys can unmute yourself and ask us the questions. Please go ahead.
Hi, Dakshita. Hi, Mr. Richard. How are you?
Well, thank you.
Yeah,
Yourself?
so thank you for this beautiful event. And I would like to ask the question that is there any chances that student get the admission in UNBC for the computer science program without mathematics?
They are able to get in, but they need to complete their mathematics requirement within the first 3 semesters. I do recommend then completing it within the first semester, because it does limit the number of courses they can take without completing the math. So we do highly recommend it. If they don't have it, they cannot get in. Now, the benefit of this is that even if they take the math and they do computer science and they realize that, hey, I hate computer science, I don't know what my parents were thinking, they can switch to other majors. They can switch to business, they can switch to psychology, any other majors that we have, because now they're admissible. They have been in the program. So it's not like other institutions, or I'm not sure about India, where you're stuck in one stream. They can move into multiple programs if they want to.
Okay, thank you. So my next question is, if student is eligible for double majors?
Yep, they are eligible for double major. We have multiple double majors and also a major and minor. So for example, a lot of our commerce and marketing students have recently done a major in marketing and minor in psychology, which actually gives them a lot of leg up in terms of marketing and understanding the psyche of their consumers. We also have major in computer science and minor in business as well, international business. So they can do both. They just need to take a little bit more credits, but they are able to do that.
Okay, thank you. And I would like to ask one more question. That is what are the criteria to get the award? Is there any specific criteria?
So there are different types of awards available for international students. There's awards anywhere ranging from leadership skills to community involvement, to merit-based scholarships as well. So we do have a variety of scholarships. Some scholarships the students will be automatically eligible for. Other scholarships, they may have to write an essay to talk about their experience and whatnot. So they are all available on the financial aid website. If you have any questions, Jay and Mehek will be happy to show you where they are and the list of awards a student can get as well.
Okay, thank you. So one of my colleague, Isha, She might have a question, so she'll ask you for the questions. Isha, please go ahead.
Thank you, Divya. Hi, Richard. Thank you for this wonderful detailed information. This will definitely help us to guide our students according to their future paths. So a lot of students are asking me the question about the probation as an academic. So what is academic probation? Can you please elaborate that?
Can you explain to me what you mean by academic provision?
Yeah.
Is it probation or provision?
Probation.
Okay, so academic probation is that when students fail one or more classes or courses in their semester, and they have 1 semester or 2 semester to make up their GPA, greater than our cutoff is generally about 2.0, which is the lowest requirements, to get up their grades. And if they can't get up their grades, or if they're skipping too many classes, then they ultimately will get kicked out of the university. And when they do get kicked out of the university, they have to wait at least 1 year before they can reapply. So we've had students who have international students who had academic probation, and it was a lot of trouble for them because it also affects their study permit as well. So which means that they have to get into another institution right away. Now there's a catch-22 to that, because you can't apply for a new study permit unless you're actively studying. And if you're on academic probation or you have been kicked out, you're not actively studying. So under the new rules, you technically have to go back to India or go back to your home country. So this is something that you should be aware of. And the reason why I know this in detail is because I am also a certified RCIC. So any of these cases technically will come to me first, and I'll have to deal with that and inform the students and their parents about what's going to happen.
Okay, so is this like this will affect their post-study work permit as well? And if they want to, if they have to go back to India, so definitely they have to reapply, right?
That's correct. It will affect their postgraduate work permit, and it will affect their future study permit eligibility as well. So this is something that we want to make sure that the students understand when they do come to UNBC. We are a research-based university, meaning that we do have higher criteria and academics requirements for our students. It is not a college. It's not like high school where they can kind of wing it and go, hey, I've done this map before. I don't need to come to the first 5 weeks of classes. No, the first week they may cover what you learned in your entire life. So this is what I've learned as well at the research university versus a polytechnic or even a teaching university.
All right. And one more last question is, if a student has enrolled in UNBC with a specific some program like for computer science, and if after landing, if he wants to change the course, is it possible? Is there any specific conditions for that?
So if they do want to change major within UNBC, they are eligible for. We're happy to work with the student. Our advisors will be able to help them on that. But if they do wish to change institutions, so for example, coming to UNBC and they go, hey, my family friend in Brampton, Ontario told me about this school closer to them and I want to go there. Technically, they will be in violation if they do switch, because the study permit has to say they are actively studying. At this point, they haven't started, so they're not actively studying. So that is something they need to be aware of. I've had students come back to me and go, well, why wasn't I approved for postgraduate work permit? I look at where they've studied, they come in and out of UNBC and they move to a different institution. Well, I'm like, well, there's a lot of gaps here. I mean, you have more than 150 days of gaps, and you didn't have a reason or authorized leave from the institution. So what happened? That's the questions that immigration officers will ask when they're applying for postgraduate work permits.
Okay. All right. And one more question with this.
Keep it coming. Not one more. Just keep it coming.
Okay. Thank you for your interest. It really helps us. One more thing that if a student enroll in computer science, right, from the in the first year they have all the subjects, and in the second year if they choose cybersecurity as a specialization for majors, and again in the third year if they want to switch it to data analytics or artificial intelligence, is this possible?
So at UNBC, our computer science program is not that niche in terms of having the data security or cybersecurity or data analytics. They will have a general knowledge of the basic foundational programs such as Java, C++, even XTML, for example. Yeah, it's more language based because with these language based, you will acquire other language a lot quicker because a lot of languages are based on C++, for example, or even JavaScript. That's kind of one of the unique languages. A lot of our graduates from computer science have gone on to work for Google, Amazon. I had a few graduate this year that went to work for Amazon Toronto, and also even Facebook. So these are students are getting jobs elsewhere outside of Prince George and into big companies as well.
Okay, and research and development programs, how many percentage of practical is there? Applied science programs.
So you're talking about the engineering program, which is applied science?
I'm talking about like biology related programs, like research and development.
So for our biomedical and our biology and say the biochemistry and molecular biology, those type of programs, we do have a lot of students who are still within their field in terms after they graduate. A lot of them go on to graduate programs. A lot of our biochemists, they go on to take a pharmacy degree, for example, or they go on to study their MCAT to do their doctorate degree. Now, for international student, there is a path. If they do wish to be a medical doctor in Canada, they just have to get their PR first, and then they can apply for med school. So we do inform the students that it is available. In fact, that on our campus, we do have a joint medical degree program with UBC. So students can get exposed to the medical doctorate students who are studying medicine right now. And our pre-med club, for example, is full of those students that want to do medicine afterwards. We also have a pharmacist club, which is all from the biochemistry and molecular biology type program. And if they're interested in research, they can get access to research with the professors in their first year if they wish to.
All right. Thank you for all the detailed information. And I guess Jay is helping us more. So almost all queries are done from my side. Thank you.
No problem. Any other question?
So we do have Maulik Bhai over here, who's from Aspire, and you're the CEO and director over here, right? Yeah. So I think you're on mute. Yes, over to you, Maulik Bhai.
Oh, first of all, thank you, Richard and Jay, to arranging this wonderful session. And it might help us to spread the awareness about UNBC among the students, because since last few months we are getting good support from UNBC and Jay. Especially Jay is doing good work for us, and because of this knowledge and this detailed information, we can get like good students. Because if we have the knowledge and details, the accurate details which we want from you, and because of this we can like get more students with accurate information. And Jay, thank you very much to arranging this session.
Well, I just want to say thank you, Jay, as well, for arranging this and introducing me to you guys. I have to say your team is wonderful. They ask very poignant questions and important questions. So thank you for building such a wonderful community and your team members. And we do look forward to receiving your students and showcasing how well they will do at UNBC.
Thank you. Thank you. Really, any question? Any?
So one more thing I would like to add is the fact that once students graduate from UNBC, the career opportunity here at UNBC in Northern British Columbia is really high. There's a lot of opening for engineering, for example, accountancy, even your regular, if they do want to work in trades for big mill companies such as Canfor, which is one of the biggest lumber producer in Canada. There's a lot of jobs that are opening right now due to the fact that we have a big population up here that are retiring or close to retirement. So that's something that Jay can talk to you guys about. He has a presentation that I talked to them about the labor market up in Northern British Columbia. And if your students are interested in immigration, being up in Northern BC, the students will get additional points for their CRS scores. Being in a kind of a remote area, not a big city. I won't say Prince George is remote because we have all the big city amenities. So benefits of coming here, staying here, and building your life here. The houses here is not going to cost you $1 million like in Vancouver. The houses here is quite affordable versus Toronto, Vancouver, and even Brampton. Some of the houses there is like $1.5 million. I'm like, I don't understand. And this is Canadian dollars, not rupee. So it's 1.5 million Canadians. So I'm like, who's making these kind of money? Because I'm not making this kind of money. So if they want to build a life here, they want to start a family here, they want to bring their parents over, Prince George is a very welcoming committee. And this is what I look forward to when international students come over.
Okay, thank you, Richard, for detailed information again.
No, thank you. And Jay, go ahead. Sorry.
Thank you. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you very much, Richard. I'm sure your presentation would help, Team Aspire Square and will motivate definitely all the team members, to get more for UNBC. And yes, thank you very much, Team Aspire Square. I'll definitely catch up with you guys sometime soon. And yeah, if you have any other questions, queries, you have my contact details. Feel free to drop me a message, call me, or email me. And as usual, we'll be more than happy to help you guys.
And we are happy that this is UNBC, and we would like to say this is Aspire Square.
Okay.
So your
Thank you.
proposal is also good. That
Well,
we can
if you do
still
decide
proudly
to visit
justify
us,
UNBC.
if you do decide to visit us, please let us know. I'm happy to take you around the campus and take you around Prince George just to showcase what we have up here. But I do look forward to when everything resumes back to normal, and I hope you guys are staying safe and staying healthy. Let's get over this together and make sure we're all playing our part.
Thank you.
Sure.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Richard, once again, and Maulik Bhai's team. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, you guys have a great rest of your day. Bye now.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye bye.